Hey everyone, welcome back to the channel. I hope you are having a good week so far. I apologise for the fact that I'm not doing more than one video this week. I have explained on my community page that I am busy working, catching up on all of the clients that I have not had over the Easter holidays. So in today's video, I'm going to be talking about P. Diddy and the lawsuit and Harry being mentioned. I'm also going to be discussing Dan Wootten, and I know that some of you are not in agreement with me on this, but I appreciate the ones that have been respectful and are sticking with me, even if I am supporting Dan in what he is attempting to do here. So I'm going to be talking a little bit about that, and stay to the end because there's also going to be a little video on Arthur and his birthday. So if you want to join me in this video, you should know what to do by now. And again, we have somebody else coming along and doing the drink of choice. This seems to be becoming very popular, and I'm really pleased how creative people are getting. If you want to join in the drink of choice, drop your video, picture, whatever it is, in the email that is across the bottom here now, and you can be part of this channel. So as always, you know what to do, but let's dive right in.
Hello Ems, Bubble family, I hope you're all having a lovely day. So I think it's time to grab our drink of choice because, as we know, it's 5 o'clock somewhere. Cheers guys. Oh, I'm just having a small one today. I've had too much coffee.
So Arthur had a very good birthday, and I'm going to put a bit more about that at the end. So like I said, please stay to the end. Don't forget, if you have a YouTube channel and you would like me to support that YouTube channel and put that up here, I will also do that. But for the meantime, let's dive right into the juicy stuff. So I want to say that next week I do have a doozy of a video coming to you. I had a very interesting phone call with somebody a couple of weeks ago now, and put it this way, it has some very enlightening information, and I'm going to be a little bit careful because the person in question has still got some connection, so I do not want to expose who they are, and I appreciate that it's a source, but I'm not going to put someone else in jeopardy. But by giving you what I'm giving you, you will get the gist of everything. So if you haven't subscribed, then please do, so you do not miss out on that juicy video, which is coming next week. So Harry and P. Diddy. So I'm sure that most of you know by now that he has been mentioned in this lawsuit. Now, obviously, I have to say this is alleged and my opinion, but him being mentioned is not alleged. It's in the public domain. And actually, it was exposed by Dan Wootten, and then the Daily Mail, I believe, then it picked up on it. So he was the first, even though they're stating the Daily Mail was first, it wasn't. It was actually Dan Wootten that was first. So I read this, and I understand that, see, the cult squad will literally find an argument or an excuse for to explain away the behaviour of Harry and Meghan. And yet, ironically, you have Prince Andrew, who was named without any evidence apart from one very weird, what I would class as photoshopped photo, but that got published. And that's it. He was named. And I feel, as most of you probably do, that a lot of it was deflection against more scrupulous, well-known people, and the connection to, obviously, Epstein. But what I find interesting is that Harry was mentioned in this lawsuit, but not many people have picked up on it. It's not really gained the same level of hysteria that Prince Andrew received, that a certain photograph has received, which by all accounts is pathetic, if I'm honest. It's, you know, the fact that there was all this hysteria around one photograph, so what? But yet Harry has been named, and there are photographs of him and his connection to P. Diddy. Now, people have said that there's only been the photographs where William, and of course they've dragged in William as well, that William was part of this. But the fact that Harry was named and not William says that Harry's connection to P. Diddy, in my opinion, is obviously a lot more closer than just, you know, P. Diddy performing at an event where Prince William and Prince Harry happen to be. Harry is also known to be flying in and out of Miami as far back as 2014 that I can find. And P. Diddy is very heavily connected to Miami. Now, okay, that's alleged, and that's, is that true or not? I don't know. But the fact is, he has been flying in and out of Miami for quite some time, for at least over 10 years. Now, what I want to talk about is connecting the dots, because when you look at the fact that P. Diddy has been named in this scandal, now, okay, at the moment there's no charges, and and I give the same principle that I did with Russell Brand and other people. I don't know P. Diddy, I don't follow him, so I can't say for sure whether I believe this man is guilty or not. That's not for me to say. That is for the courts to decide. However, there have been women that have come forward. That's as far as I know. But I'm going to talk about Prince Harry and why I believe that this is not a far stretch, him being connected with somebody like this. Because as I've exposed before, when you look at the type of personality that Harry is, he is very rude. He is very disrespectful. He has no... I feel that he has no emotional depth in regards to how he treats women. He's misogynistic. We have seen proof of Harry's misogyny time and time again. This is why I have constantly said that it is not a far stretch for Harry to get somebody pregnant. And I know that people still don't believe me, and that's absolutely fine, because nobody knows for sure, let's be honest. But when you have the type of personality with Harry, when he first met Meghan, I truly believe this was not a match made in heaven. This was him getting together with somebody who was very sexual. He loved every minute of that. There was drink, there was involved, and he lapped it up. But Harry, like with most people that are like him, he got bored with her very quickly because she is not his type. When you look at the two people that he sort of settled down with to a degree, even though there were rumours of him cheating and doing those things, but for someone to put up with that, I think you have got to be perhaps somebody that's of... I mean, no one should put up with that, I'm going to be honest. But if he was doing that to the likes of Cressida Bonus or Chelsea Davy, which it was coming out that he was, it is not a far stretch to think that he was also doing this with Meghan. And there were rumours at the time that he was dating somebody as well as Meghan, but she put a stop to it. And so he then continued to some degree with Meghan. Now, we also know that Meghan, being a narcissist, she would have wanted to secure Harry in any way, shape or form. So she would have performed to her best ability the love bombing, and Harry would have lapped this up. But again, at some point he would have got bored of her because, you know, he is somebody that thinks and believes that he can get anybody he wants. And as much as maybe in the eyes of someone like Harry, Meghan's attractive, she's not the be all and end all, when he could get somebody a lot younger, a lot prettier, and maybe someone with connections. So the fact that he ended up with Meghan is suspicious enough in itself, in my opinion. So that's why I will stick to the belief that Meghan said or did something that secured that relationship. And he was, in a way, trapped into marrying her. But then you have to look at this type of personality doesn't change. So is it... Now, if it was someone, say, like William, I would have been, I don't know. because we have seen time and time again the type of person that William is, which is why William is the one person they try to destroy, because he is a good person. Is he perfect? Probably not. Has he done things when he was younger? Probably, as we all do. But for the most part, he is a remarkable young man. Well, say young. I'm going to say young because I'm young, even though I'm 50, but I'm young. And he's got an amazing wife, beautiful children, and he's loved and adored by many. And this would create someone like Harry to be very, very jealous, especially given that he's gone from being one of the most popular royals in the UK, albeit false, because we were given a false persona of Harry. But this is a guy that thought nothing of going out and wearing a Nazi uniform, didn't care how that would look in the media, didn't care the effect that would have on the people that would be traumatized by that, didn't care. I've certainly heard things from people, and one of the things are going to be mentioned in next week's video, where he has absolutely zero respect for anyone, even anyone that's in authority, because he believes being the prince of someone of a royal family that gives him top billing, if you like. So he would be doing this all the time. However, Harry is very insecure, and we have seen the way he fawns over celebrities, say. And I've seen this when I've seen videos of him. He acts very childlike and immature, very similar to Meghan. So he does have this little bit of weird behaviour around people that are in the acting industry. And even though in some ways he would like to think he's their equal or above them, he doesn't act that way when it comes to when he first meets them. I think when he first meets them, he does this weird kind of insecure, oh my gosh, you're someone famous. But then as he probably gets to know them, he starts to then get bolshier and bolshier. And that's someone that's his personality type. So the fact that he would befriend somebody like P. Diddy is not a shock to me in any shape or form. But I think that he would be very much in the, oh, this is almost as if it's like that gangster persona that I believe that he probably would believe that P. Diddy has. Whether he does or not, don't know, don't follow him. So I can't comment on that. But I would imagine that someone like Harry would very much in the beginning be quite in awe of someone like P. Diddy and be a bit nervous around him, given perhaps the persona that P. Diddy has. So would he then get involved in something? In my opinion, yes. I fully believe that Harry could get himself involved in something and be part of something on the outside. Now, obviously, it's stating that he is part of this ring, and I'm going to be very careful what I say here because I can't say certain things. So I'm going to put this up here because I'm not allowed to say it on here because it gets flagged. Do I believe that Prince Harry knowingly would be part of that? In all honesty, no. I don't believe he would go that far into something like this and be part of it. And the reason being is because Harry is gutless. He is somebody that sits on the outside, likes to be known, likes to have the name drop and be part of something, but he's also like a little boy. So I think that he would go so far, then he would wobble and get very kind of like, oh, I don't know, I can't be part of this, and possibly skirt around it, if you'll kind of get my meaning. I don't believe that he would go so far into something, because if, in all honesty, I feel that we would have heard something by now. Do I feel that he's very arrogant? Yes. Do I feel that he treats women badly? Yes. But I don't believe that he would get himself involved in something. And some might disagree with me, and that's absolutely fine. But knowing Harry the way we know him, in how insecure he is and how he can't think for himself. Sorry, my light just turned off. And how he can't think for himself. He has to have almost someone dominate him. He could get himself involved in something because he's being told what to do, but he wouldn't do something in a way off his own back. I don't think that he'll be actually part of something. So I believe he's gone to his parties. I believe it's possible that he's seen things. I believe that he's kind of been all jokey and laddish around the outside of it, but he's not actually got fully involved. The reason they have brought him into it is that he does have a connection with obviously P Diddy, and the fact that it does give it more credibility, perhaps the lawsuit. But I also believe there's no smoke without fire. You know, if there was absolutely nothing, then why would he be involved in it? So it's possible that he's witnessed something. Now, for Harry, this is going to make him very, very nervous, in my opinion, because he's probably not going to want to get on the bad side of P. Diddy. So he's in between a rock and a hard place. He either speaks out against him or he supports him, in which case he's damned if he does and he's damned if he doesn't. And that's if this court case goes ahead. I don't know. I don't know all the ins and outs of it. It's very difficult when you're trying to research things in the UK when it's American, because a lot of the time, especially with my phone, it says this isn't available in your country, and then I've tried to run my VPN and it still gets a bit weird. So I'm not able to find a lot of information. That's why I've waited a bit to talk about this to see if anything else comes up, but it hasn't. So that's just my opinion on that. Do I think that Harry is very capable of doing things not very nice towards women? Yes, I absolutely do. But I also think he's gutless. And I fully believe that he could potentially go along with what P. Diddy would want. Say, for example, he is very much, in my sense, I think he fully believes that he could lie for somebody, being that he's a prince, and he could get that covered up. Yeah, I believe that. I mean, I'm not being funny. We've seen a lot of things covered up in regards to Harry's behaviour. So whether or not that's part of it, I don't know. My voice is now going as well. But I do feel that he's a particularly gutless person, and he likes people to... He just slots himself in somewhere. He doesn't make decisions. I think he's incapable of making decisions. Hence why, for someone like Meghan, he's perfect, because she's very domineering, very controlling, and she probably came in and almost acted like a mother figure to him. And so he lapped that up. He's always had somebody telling him what to do, where to go, what to do. And even though he's been rebellious and he's done the things, the awful things that he's done, he's always had the royal family covering that up for him and making it all better. There, Harry, we'll sort all this out for you. Well, suddenly now he's in a situation where he hasn't got that anymore. And what I'd even imagine is he hasn't got Meghan in that. Meghan will only cover up for things if she thinks it benefits her and she gets something over on him. Which is why, when I go back to the stuff about the children, I stand by what I say. Because, and as I have found out, there is no law in the UK, and I need people to understand this, because I still get the comments of, well, perhaps she donated her eggs to a surrogate, perhaps they found a surrogate. You have to look at the fact that, firstly, Meghan and Harry decided one day, or Meghan decided one day, that I want to have a child. Narcissists are not maternal, so the only way they would want to have a child is if it was to have sort of more ownership and leverage over the person they're controlling. So say Harry. Now the only way that would happen is if she actually had a child, so the child is biologically hers and Harry's. We know that that's not true. So you've got to look at the fact that she suddenly woke up one day and just thought, you know what, I want a child and I want to go with a surrogate. Now in the UK, there is no law whatsoever that goes on the side of the parents that are not the surrogate. So you're then telling me that Harry and Meghan decided to go with a surrogate. They would then have to find a surrogate, which seemed to happen quite quickly, and then get them to sign something, even though none of that gives them any legal right to the child unless they go to court. There's nothing in the courts in regards to Harry and Meghan going to court to have the rights over a child. Meghan would not donate her eggs, say, because it would still apply. Even if Meghan donated her eggs to someone in the UK, the surrogate would still have all the legal rights. So you have the fact that Harry and Meghan woke up one day, or say Meghan did, and she decided that she wanted to pretend to be pregnant and somehow duped Harry and the royal family into going along with it. Well, we, the public, saw that she was lying. So you can pretty much see and understand that Harry and Meghan, who are in close proximity with her, would have seen that she was lying. So either way, none of it makes sense to me, that she would just suddenly decide to risk everything to go with a surrogate who could absolutely blab to whoever for money, could blackmail them for money. And Meghan is not someone that would take that risk. She wouldn't take the risk of donating her eggs to somebody that would then go, yeah, I'm keeping the child, you know, sucks to be you. She wouldn't take that risk. And I don't believe Harry would either. And I don't believe the royal family would then be okay with that. Yeah, okay, yeah, go with a surrogate, because then the surrogate has all the rights to a royal child. No, I don't believe that. It's too messy. And the one thing I would say about a narcissist is they don't like that. They don't like being out of control. Anything that's out of their control, they would not like. So that's why I constantly come back to the fact that Harry got somebody pregnant. When that time frame happened, I don't know. But if you look at certain photographs of, like when we've seen clear videos of a child, like in the very, very beginning, and people have said to me, but what about the child that was at the christening? Well, the christening photo was photoshopped. That's been proven. So the christening photograph also, as I said in a previous video, the metadata doesn't add up. The christening was in July. The metadata of an original photograph, which I believe was probably one taken of Harry and Meghan and this baby, which was potentially the real Archie, that was taken on May the 8th. And I think the others were then superimposed on top of that to create the family photograph. The royal family, unfortunately, whether people like it or don't, would have to go along with that, because these things have been published. And so you can't tell me that they don't know. They were duped probably initially, maybe, I don't know. But if Harry got somebody pregnant, I do believe, and as we know, they've tried to cover things up. Harry is not a very nice person. But, like I say, he's also particularly gutless, and he needs people to control things for him. So if he did get involved in someone like P. Diddy, then it's very possible that he went along with it because he felt that he should. But I don't think he would have fully got himself involved, if that makes sense, because of who he is, the type of personality he is. However, I don't know. That he could be fully in bed with him in a sense. And that's why they constantly, he's still flying in and out. Recently, he's flown into Miami. So is he fully involved in this? But the fact that he's been named, I think there is no smoke without fire. But what angers me more is that there is no hysteria around this. Prince Andrew was dragged and is still dragged today when you look at social media. And yet, all it was one woman who never mentioned him in the beginning, suddenly, conveniently, mentions him. Brings out this very weird photograph, which people have debunked and said it's fake. Even Ghislaine Maxwell said it's fake. That it was. It looks like it's. Who is it? Somebody's Prince Andrew's head has been superimposed onto this photograph, and Lady. Is it Lady Victoria? Lady V. She's called Lady Victoria. She is good friends with Prince Andrew, and even she says this photograph is fake because it shows someone wearing something in their back pocket, and she said that Prince Andrew never ever wore things in his back pocket. Now again, okay, she's a friend with him, so who knows, but I am very much inclined to believe that Prince Andrew was a scapegoat. And I also believe that Meghan Markle was going to be called because of the connection with Andrew. And isn't it funny that when Meghan Markle was being called, this was shut down? And that's probably to protect the fact that Meghan was going to be called as a witness, and they didn't want this huge mess just before the Jubilee, so the Queen shut it down. Now, do I feel that was a mistake? In all honesty, yes. I can understand why, because she was quite ill, I think, at the time, and they wanted this Jubilee to go without a hitch. And I understand that, I truly do. But I think the mistake was that they paid that woman off, because when you appease bullies, it never stops. It never stops. You either ignore or you fight back, which is what's happening now. So that then leads me on to what has come out recently in regards to Dan Wootten. Now, obviously, as you know, I've put things up on my community page. Some of it's also gone on Instagram and my TikTok account. And I know there's been mixed reviews. I know some people have said that they've refused to support Dan because some of the things that he did in his past in regards to the Johnny Depp and Amber Heard situation. And I fully understand that. I truly do. I've actually had people that have dropped off from my channel because I'm supporting him. And again, that is their right to do so. It's a shame because at the end of the day, you can still support somebody even if you don't agree with their choices. But people are free to choose and do whatever they want, you know, and I appreciate people's support up until now. But if they want to leave, then of course I fully understand that. I did not support Dan when he did what he did in regards to the Amber Heard situation, purely and simply because I saw who Amber Heard was. I could see that she was a narcissist. However, he is not the first person, male or female, to be duped by a narcissist. And I think it's unfair, especially as he's come out and said that he was wrong. He wasn't the only person that went against Johnny Depp. In fact, most people did, apart from some in the online community. But most journalists, whoever, celebrities went against him and believed Amber Heard. So to in a way, lump everything on Dan is, I feel, unfair. I understand why people are angry, and I get it, but it's unfair. He has acknowledged that he was wrong. But like I say, we've all been duped. Myself, I've been duped. And for someone who knows and understands narcissism, not too long ago, probably 3 years ago, as my last one. But it happens. It happens. The difference being is that when you realise, like when I did, and I called the person out, they don't like that. And so I separated from them because it's very hard to acknowledge someone as a narcissist when you first meet somebody. It is really hard because they are so charming, so likable. They seem to know what to say, when to say it. But over time, the cracks start to show. And that's the important thing. When you start to see the truth, you call it out and you say, hey, this is not okay. Now, anyone that's genuinely a healthy, emotional person will acknowledge that and be like, well, you know what, I'm really sorry. I'm going to work on that. I didn't realize, or whatever it is. However, a narcissist will then flip it and play victim or somehow blame you. And when you start to see that happen more and more, the important thing then is to step away, which is what happened. And so for me, that's what happened to me, but it blew up, unfortunately, but it happens. And that, I believe, is what happened with Dan. I think he was very duped by her. He fell for her in that sense and believed her lies. But then thankfully, when the court case happened, it all got exposed. Should he have said something sooner? Maybe, but I'm not him, and maybe it's difficult to acknowledge something when you realise you're wrong. I don't know. I don't know. But anyway, what I do support is what he's doing now. You know, he's sticking his neck on the line to go after the cult squad, which, as you know, I've had personal dealings with. In fact, a lot of us have on here. We've all had interactions in some form or another, some far worse. Some, I believe, has been warranted, if I'm honest, because I feel that some are just as bad in some of the things that they have done. I've had personal dealings with, and I'm going to say Megxit accounts, because they are, and they have trolled me as well. So I'm going to be honest and say that it's not just the cult squad that have done this, even though they are absolutely vile. You've also got, which I have seen and heard from comments in here, from emails, where people have sent me screenshots, or people have told me that whether I've been targeted or Princess of Wales has been targeted, or that, you know, they've said things about the royal family, which is horrible, that we don't condone that either, or we shouldn't condone that either. You know, if you're supporting somebody that is being bullying, whether just because it's, say, about something you agree on. You know, I talk about Harry and Meghan. I don't bully them because I call them out on their behaviour. There's a big difference between calling somebody out on the way they behave to then bullying them. You never hear me attack the way she looks, because I don't agree with that. And also, I'm not condemning anyone that chooses to say those things, because at the end of the day, you are free to do what you like. But it's just my personal choice. And also because being a psychotherapist, I have to hold myself a little bit more accountable, because otherwise it's going to create me to look bad if I'm doing that. So the fact that I've got a public persona, I believe I have a responsibility in how I act and how I am on here, which I hope that most of you now see. I've been on here long enough now for you to hopefully get the measure of who I am as a person. However, it is also easy to fool people. I have been fooled by people, and I'm sure many of you have. And I see it in the comments. I know that people are fooled by certain Megxit accounts. But when behind the scenes, they are doing things just as bad. And I have been privy to that. And that's the sad thing, when we're all trying to do the same thing, or at least we should be, in exposing the truth. And that's why I'm supporting Dan. They went after him. They went after his partner. They attacked his livelihood. And that is when it crosses a line. It's one thing to have a disagreement. It's one thing to say, you know what, I don't like Dan, or I don't respect him. And I've had that on here, and that's fine. But those people can say that, and that's their right to do so. But those people then don't go on and start targeting where he lives, or targeting his partner, or targeting his job. That's when it crosses a line, which is what I have experienced. And I know others have too. And that's not right in any shape or form. I will never, ever support somebody who goes out of their way to bully and dox somebody. You know, when you are trying to find their children, trying to find where they work, which is what I had. They were contacting agencies asking if I worked there and criticizing me. When you have Christopher Boozy, who is one of the worst, and he's now being connected to Sarah Data, who I knew about, I don't think I've had any dealings with her personally, but I knew about her from my time when I was on Twitter. And the worst thing was because I made the mistake. And it was a mistake, because I didn't know Christopher Boozy in the extent of who he was. He just come out of nowhere. And I didn't know that. But I made the mistake of trying to appeal to him, because I was worried. I was worried that my job was, that they were gunning for me. And they were, anyone that defended me, they were being DM'd, and they were being it was horrendous. And it was affecting my mental health. Which was then in turn affecting my job. I was losing subscribers on here because people were believing the things that were being said about me. So I appealed to him and said, you know, please, can you stop? And I, thankfully, before I come off Twitter, I screenshot the entire DM, which thankfully I did, because the way he portrayed it was that I was giving him information about people. Well, anyone, and there's only a select few people that have seen the real DM between me and him, and you can absolutely see categorically that there is nothing, where he is asking me, but I'm saying no. And then he gave me the email of a journalist, which I just say thanks. I never contacted this person, had no interest in contacting this person, because I do not trust anyone that's connected to him. At the time, I just wanted him to lay off me, even to the point where I said, I'll no longer talk about Harry and Meghan anymore, because my job at the time, which it still is more important to me than Harry and Meghan. And I was very new to YouTube still, so I hadn't got the following that I had. So I was just like, you know what, if I have to stop talking about them, fine, I don't care. But I realised when I sort of come away from that, and then I came off Twitter at that point. I deactivated all of my accounts, and that was back in, I believe, 2021. Was it 2020, 2021? I know it was late. It was, I think, October, November, something like that. Anyway, so I came off. I then just concentrated on building my YouTube channel back up. And I was also getting bullied outside of that for talking about Harry and Meghan by Megxit accounts who didn't want me talking about Harry and Meghan. And it was at that point I was like, hang on a minute, I'm allowed to talk about Harry and Meghan. Why am I bowing down to these people? Why am I listening to what they're saying? You know, they got me so messed up in the way I was doing things that I was listening to them and contemplating it. And so I decided that I wasn't going to listen to them. I wasn't going to let them win. And here I am today. I fully support Dan in going after anybody who feels the need to be threatened by somebody enough. You're going to go after them personally, go after their loved ones, go after their career. That's disgusting. And like I said, and I'm going to reiterate this, it is not just the cult squad that are doing it. The stuff in regards to, and it's brought it to light, and I've seen a lot of comments here by people that have said, you know, I'm very disappointed in some of the Megxit accounts that have, you know, the YouTubers that have attacked the royal family. We're supposed to be better. You know, how can you call out the cult squad if you're doing the same thing? That makes you no better. You know, you can have an opinion of sure. But if you're attacking somebody to such a level, then that's not okay. If you're going to believe lies about somebody without giving a person the chance to explain or the chance to give their point, because that was not afforded to me. In all fairness, aside from a few people that have come to me from here and across from Twitter, Dan is the only person, like I say, aside from good friends who know me, who have actually listened to my side and said, you know what, I'm gonna support you. You know, given the amount of bullying that people have received if they befriend me on here, I'm in a way blacklisted across the YouTube community in some areas because of the lies that people have spread about me, calling me a bully, calling me someone that has done things to people without any shred of evidence, because there isn't any, because I've never done it. And yet not one person has come to me who's accused me and said, I'd like to hear your side of it. And that's fine. But don't expect me then to be on your side when something happens, or when I start to do well and they suddenly creep out of the woodwork and want to work with me. No, I won't be working with you. I won't be supporting you, because I don't support bullies. I'm not going to support somebody who, when it was all going on, got involved and trashed me, but then now I'm doing well, wants to work with me. Doesn't work that way. You know, I support people, good people. I stand by good people. And I believe Dan, even though he's made mistakes, is good people. So I hope that in a way maybe sways you to change your mind. But again, like I say, it's okay if it doesn't. You know, I think as long as we stand united in calling these vile people out who do this type of thing, and look at who you're supporting. Because if you're condoning the bullying that goes online, even if you think it's funny, the chances are in your personal life you might even condone it, especially if it's about somebody else and it's not directed at you. Because sooner or later, the person who does that will turn on you. You know, because if they're saying things about other people, and as you know, I always like to reflect things back to real life in a sense. If they're doing it to others and they're talking to you and gossiping to you about others and they're saying nasty things about others, you can guarantee that they're doing the same to them about you. They're not trustworthy people. You know, always, it's not about what people say, it's about how they behave and who they are. We're human, we make mistakes. And that's part of life. But to see my name go up was pretty cool. I'm not going to lie. You know, when I woke up to some of the comments and emails of like, oh my gosh, Dan's mentioned you in his podcast. Yeah, I'm not going to lie. That was pretty surreal. Didn't expect that at all. I knew that he was doing work into it and investigating it, but didn't expect that at all. So I just want to say thank you, because he is, and like I say, I'm not talking about the people personally to me, but he is someone who has stuck his neck on the line.
In fact, my extensive research and investigation has shown they are the ones perpetrating the worst trolling, at times threatening the lives and livelihoods of folk who have simply exercised their right to free speech by criticising the public behaviour of Harry and Meghan. My interest in uncovering the truth about this malignant squad is in part because for the past year, these online thugs have attempted to destroy my reputation by working with a handful of nefarious forces to spread total lies about me and my completely innocent partner, who has no role in public life, by the way. As their behaviour unravels after overplaying their hand during Kategate, today I make an unequivocal demand to Harry and Meghan. Publicly disassociate yourselves with the increasingly dangerous and deranged behaviour of the Sussex Squad, or anything you ever say again about the cruelty of the internet is worthless.
So anyway, so that's the video today, and I'm going to end it with a lovely little video of Arthur, as I promised you, a video of Arthur opening his birthday present. And he had a fantastic birthday. Of course he did. And thank you to all of the people that wished him a happy birthday. He is actually 5, because he was born the 31st of March 2019. So he is 5 on, he was 5. So, So yeah, so he did have, and he's sleepy boy there because he's come back from his walk. So thank you, yeah, to everyone who has sent me Easter cards, who have, like I say, wished him happy birthday. I really do appreciate that, and I know that he does too. And if he could tell you, he would. So yeah, so in the meantime, have a wonderful weekend, whatever you are doing. And like I say, I will be back next week. If you have liked this video, then please give it a thumbs up. If you haven't subscribed, think about doing so, because my aim is to get myself to my 100,000 subscribers by the end of the year. I want my plaque. So if you can help me do that, I'd be very, very grateful. If you'd like to treat me to a cuppa so you can support what I do here in giving free therapy to people who struggle financially, then the link is in the description box below, but it's also the little icon above my subscribe button, I believe. You can follow me on Instagram and TikTok if you choose to go across there. I'm also on Rumble, and I'm now on Substack. If you don't want to go on there, it's absolutely fine. Doesn't take away from what I do here. If you would like to send me something, write to me. My PO box is also in the description box of every single video. Just scroll down to the bottom and you can write to me, as most people do. And I read every single one of your letters that I get, and I keep every single one of them. So you are not ignored at all by me. You can also purchase my bubble merchandise, which is also, the link is there. So yeah, everything that you need to know is in the description box below. So I hope you've enjoyed this video, and I will see you in the next one. So in the meantime, take care as always, and I love you, I appreciate you, but most of all, I respect you. Take care. Bye-bye. Mwah. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Got to sing happy birthday. Happy birthday, dear Arthur. Happy birthday to you. Whee!
I don't suppose he knows the difference between.
No, he doesn't. That's probably why. Just the point is because he's just opening his present. What you got? He is, yeah, I don't know yet, Mum. I'm so impatient.
Reminds me how he opens presents.
I know, he doesn't tear the present.
That clever boy. Wrapping paper next time, you know.
3 hours later.
Yeah.
What's that?
What is it? I can't see it.
He hasn't got to it yet.
Oh.
I feel like we have to tear every bit of the paper before we can work out.
Yeah.
What's that? You want some? Yeah? Say happy birthday. Happy birthday, Arthur. Mum, say happy birthday.
Happy birthday, Arthur.
Happy birthday? He's like, yeah, just give me the treats. Give me the treats. Oh, he's a good boy. He's a good boy. Do you paw? Do you paw? Yay. Other paw? Do other paw? Yay. Good boy. All right, I won't make you wait then. All right, say love you, everybody. Bye. Go on then.
Yay.
Yay.
you explain what they are so people don't think you're...
Yes, so these that's a good idea, yes, because I will get that. These are meaty flavoured bubbles. They are dog friendly, so there's nothing toxic in them. They come from a very humane pet store. So for anyone that worries and thinking that I'm trying to poison my dog, I'm really not. But he seems to love them. Yeah, you like them.
Are they?
Look.